आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सोल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Hello students, let us see this problem. There are two statements. We have to validate whether the statements are true or false. Minimum number of points of discontinuity of the function fx is equal to gx into 2x minus 1. Gx is another function which is again given by this. We do not know but what is this constant here, but there is some constant here. Fx is equal to gx into 2x minus 1. It is the greatest integer function, greatest integer of 2x minus 1. For all x belongs to minus 3, minus 1. Anyway, this is greatest integer function. This is statement 1. Statement 2 says fx can be made continuous at a point of discontinuity, say x is equal to c1, right? So x value, we can choose one value c1 in such a way that this is of 2x minus 1 if g of c plus 1, c1 is 0. It will be too complicated if you start thinking all these things. Let us make one by one. Right. The first statement, what it says, fx is equal to gx into 2x minus 1 with the greatest integer function for all x belongs to minus 3 to minus 1. For greatest integer function for minus 3 is excluded here, is open interval. So, what are the values it is possible, greatest integer, either minus 2 and this side, right hand side, minus 1 is possible. So, x value should lie in between minus 2 to minus 1. X values are lying between minus 3, minus 1 open interval means the greatest integer of this is going to be this. Is it not? Minus 2 is the greatest integer function of minus 3 values, right? Minus 3 is excluded. So minus 3, that is minus 2.9 is included, minus 2.7 is included. Like that, of all these things, greatest integer is minus 2. And right hand side, minus 1 is excluded. That means this side, this is excluded. Minus 1 is excluded. Is it not? Minus 1 is excluded means for all these values between minus 1.9, all these things, this is the greatest integer. That is minus 1. That's why we have taken from minus 2 to minus 1. Okay. Now, what is our function given for greatest integer? We have to find out the x is greatest integer lying between this and this. We have to find out greatest integer lying values of 2x minus 1. So, I'll multiply with 2x. This will be minus 4. This will be minus 2. I'll subtract, I'll add minus 1 to this, right? I'll add minus 1 to this also. I will add minus 1 to this also. That is minus 5 is less than 2x minus 1 is less than minus 3. So, 2x minus 1 values are going to lie between minus 5 and minus 3, right? If 2x minus 1 values are lying between this and this, what would be the values of fx? This is 2 into x minus 1, right? So, what the question said, discontinuity. Discontinuity will be there for greatest integer function at all integers, you know that. If this is the greatest integer from 0 to 1, this part, this is excluded. Here it is not. Similarly at 1 like this, for minus 1 to 0, excluded. Here also it is excluded. Here also it is excluded. Here also it is excluded. That means it is this function, greatest integer function is discontinuous at all integer values. So what all the integer values will get here between 5 and minus 3? Yes, at minus 5 by 2 if you take, substitute this x value here, what will happen? Minus 5 by 2 into 2. 2 will get cancelled, minus 5, minus 1, minus 6 will come. So which is the greatest integer function? And this value, fx value is discontinuous there. Similarly, if you take it minus 4, right, at minus 4 by 2, minus 4 by 2, that is minus 2. You go with minus 2, 2 into minus 2, minus 4, minus 1, minus 5. This is discontinuous. That means at minus 2 also it is discontinuous. Similarly, at minus 3 by 2, because minus 3 by 2 is less than minus 1, is it not? So minus 3 by 2 is after this only, right? Values are going to be here. So minus 3 by 2. At minus 3 by 2, what will happen? Minus 3 by 2, 2 will cancel, it will be minus 4. Minus 4 lies in between this. So at all these 3 points, this is discontinuous. But what the statement said, minimum number of points of discontinuity of the function fx is equal to gx into 2x minus 1 for all between minus 3 to minus 1, where this denotes great integer function and gx is equal to this is 0. But we got 3. So statement 1 is false. Statement 1 false. Let us see the statement number 2. What statement number 2 says? Fx can be continuous at a point of discontinuity, say x is equal to c1 of 2x minus 1, greater than 2x minus 1, if gc1 is equal to 0. If we are able to find one value of c1, some value, some constant value, g of c1, which will be equal to 0, then that c1 belongs to this. If c1 belongs to this interval, c1 belongs to this greatest integer function of this, then it will become 0. Is it not? That means that value will satisfy, so it will become discontinuous. So the value gc1 is 0 means what? G0 means what? At this particular point of time, say at c1, gx is whenever gx is equal to 0, if gx is equal to 0, that is, this function is continuous, gx is a continuous function. And for that, if you are able to find out one value of c1 which will satisfy this, that means it is fx is discontinuous. So this function is gx into this. So this function is going to be discontinuous, right? So we can make this as discontinuous. That means we can easily make the discontinuous by finding one value of c1, which will make fx into the greatest integer function of 2x minus 1 is 0, provided if you find one c1 value here. So the statement 2 is, we can make it. That's why statement 2 is true. Hope you understand this. This is a highly logical question. You need to know thoroughly about what is greatest integer function, when this function is going to be discontinuous. It is going to be discontinuous at all integral values of the function. Okay? Hope you understand this question. Thank you very much.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट IIT JEE मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।